Hello and welcome to Lloyd's Dressing Gown Diaries, the review of the first weekend of the Six Nations 2013. Well, I think we can all agree it started with an absolute bang, a cracking first weekend's rugby with massive results for Ireland, England and the biggest result, of course, Italy. So, a review of some of the games and some of the highlights from the weekend. Well, firstly, let's start in Cardiff. Any questions over the quality of Brian O'Driscoll have surely been answered. He produced a phenomenal performance, none more so than in the first 10 minutes. He created a try in the corner, he scored one himself. Really is a line in waiting, I think, and it'll be a nice swan song for him. Incredibly impressed with the way Ireland performed. They were professional, took their chances exceptionally well, and punished Wales for rather a poor performance and the number of errors they made. So Ireland were efficient, but I don't think that they were particularly cutting edge. They took advantage of the mistakes Wales made rather than creating their own opportunities. It was a workmanlike performance and perhaps not much more. They still will fancy their chances against England next up, but we'll do more on that on the Friday review. So Wales, well, they were devoid of ideas. There were some improvements from the autumn, but generally this is a poor performance. Rob Howley, as interim coach, really has some big questions to answer now. I'm not sure what he's been coaching, because at times the attack was disjointed, there were players all over the place, there didn't seem to be any shape, there didn't seem to be any conviction. The fact that Wales couldn't deal with the choke tackle that Ireland were using so well was also poor. You know that Ireland are going to do that, so you go to ground quicker and knock over, take people out of the ruck and maul. So I think there are big questions over a number of the players as well. Warburton, who has previously been put forward as a future Lions captain, I think May on these performances struggled to even make it onto the plane to Australia. He really has big questions. I'm not sure that Howley will make the tough decision to drop him, but the way that Shingler and Pyrrhic played really does put questions over his positioning and role within the team. Phillips, again, was slow with distribution. It was no coincidence that Wales' best passage of play came as a result of both the sin binnings and Lloyd Williams' distribution from the bottom of rucks and mauls, where it was much quicker, injected pace into the way Wales played. I think Cuthbert has also, although he scored a try, poor performance. He was at fault for the first Irish try, ball watching rather than actually watching the players and the movement. The biggest concern I have, though, is the distribution across all players. Jonathan Davis is normally very, very strong in midfield, but two of his passes went straight into touch. A lot of passes were overhead height, were behind players. Cuthbert particularly was too flat, not giving the guy with the ball any option, so a number went behind him. So there really are questions over Wales, and they won't fancy the trip to Paris next up against the French team, who will be attempting to rectify their problems from the weekend's game. So in summary, Ireland, solid performance. Wales, big questions indeed. So moving on, England, Scotland. Well, Scotland started exceptionally well. Stuart Hogg really is a talent. He attacked the line with pace. He's got a big boot on him. Really has a good opportunity to get onto the Lions trip the way he's playing. Again, Scotland, they showed the passion that we expected them to at Twickenham, but perhaps we're just a little short. But let's not take anything away. England were exceptional. It's one of the best performances they've put in a long time. I've not been a big Owen Farrell fan, but on this performance, he was electric. He was attacking the line, his distribution was good, his decision-making was top drawer, his kicking was excellent, and he kept the moves flowing. He really did link-up play very well. It was a solid performance, so perhaps Owen Farrell really is the future for England. Solid performance from Billy Twelvetrees as well at inside centre, offered something a bit different, and big performances across the park. Scotland are one of the weaker teams in the Six Nations, however, so we can't forget that. But certainly England will be very happy with their work. Scotland won't be too upset. They didn't start too badly. They came back into the game late on. We'll see. It's a big game for them against Italy, which is a must-win game, as always, with Italy-Scotland. So moving on to the final game. Italy-France. Well, as I said in the preview, I think Italy are one of the most improved teams in the Six Nations, and so it proved. They they played with great structure. They had a lot of accuracy in their passing. They put in massive performances. As ever, Paresi was top draw. Great try he scored. Really, I mean, Italy are a proper Six Nations team, and I don't think this result was any surprise. Now, France had a great autumn. Not really sure what happened. In the last 20 minutes, they were lost. Really didn't know what they were doing. No injection of pace, no desire. They almost fell off a cliff, and in the end result was thoroughly deserved for Italy, and a great shame for France of where they go from here. So, what do I see happening now for the remainder of the Six Nations? Well, we'll do a full review on Friday of the fixtures coming up at the weekend. But from what I've seen so far, I don't think we'll see a Grand Slam winner. I don't think England will win in Cardiff for the Wales game. It'll be interesting to see what happens in Dublin. That'll be a big fixture for both teams. Clearly, whoever wins that will think that they're set fair for a Grand Slam victory. But I'm not sure. I think both of them will stumble at some point. So I anticipate that the championship will be decided on points in the end, with 3 teams on 4 wins. I hope, from my point of view, that Wales are included in that, but on the performances so far, I really do question that. So, thanks very much. Thanks very much for tuning in. But the Lloyd's legends, well, I don't think it's fair to give it to one person. On the performance of Italy, they were incredibly strong. The team really were electric. But on balance, my player of the weekend is Owen Farrell. Solid, attacking, did everything a number 10 should do, controlled the game. Lloyd's losers, well, this one's easy. The way Wales have been coached recently, I really question what Howley has been doing. So, Rob Howley, you are my loser of the week. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time.